Hey, good afternoon, guys. Michael Wynn, Chief Digital Officer of Digital Ops, a division of RB Oppenheim Associates. And today I want to talk about a question that comes up a lot in my industry for digital and social media marketing. And that really centers around what is and how do you measure true return on investment, because it's obviously, in today's mobile social society, we live, breathe, and operate on these devices. So how do we measure these things? And I think really, it boils down to a couple of things that must be taken into consideration. And I think that's attribution versus awareness, or awareness. I don't necessarily think that it's an either or situation. I think from an attribution standpoint, it reminds me of kind of my old school days. I spent 12 years in the automotive industry, in sales, marketing, and service. And, we kept asking the customer in all kinds of formats. We'd have surveys, paper surveys, email surveys, questionnaires, because ultimately we were trying to figure out, did the sale or the prospect come from this ad? And we were measuring traditional media, sources, TV, radio, and so the question would be like, how did you hear about us? Kind of a thing. We were so excited when someone would walk in with the newspaper in their hand, or they would walk in with the Thrifty Nickel, or whatever the media format was that we had placed our ad placement in. So obviously that was old school attribution. I think the new version of attribution is going to and does center around landing pages as well as conversion pages, where, whether or not you're in a transactional relationship with that person as a result of the ad, or, if it's signing up for services, they're ultimately going to come to that landing page and then take action and end up on your conversion page, which would be like a thank you page, or, next step page. But there's variables in that as well. And the variables are going to include what the ad source is. Was it a search ad? Was it a display ad? Or was it a result of retargeting? And that's, I think, sometimes what's difficult, because unless you set up your conversion and landing pages unique for each one of those ads, it's very difficult for you to determine what that attribution was. In other words, what was the last thing you saw that made you take that action? And so attribution is very difficult. But I think a lot of times businesses and as marketers, we overlook awareness, because awareness is one of the true measurements and strategies, I think, as today, as a digital and social media marketer. The old days were, for awareness, it was, buy more ads, get more ink, and have greater frequency on those, whatever that media outlet was. Whereas today, new awareness is about, again, targeted ads on specific platforms, having creative and engaging content, that prompts interaction. That's what awareness really is. And that, I think, is really underestimated, because what I think we sometimes miss is awareness leads to consideration. And I think that is the real driving factor when we come to digital and social media marketing, is we're really trying to stack the deck in our interest to make sure that when it comes time to consideration, considering buying a car, considering buying a house, that they'll remember the engaging and the value-added content that was provided by that brand. So, you know, that's thinking about attribution, that's thinking about awareness. And so when we look at, you know, okay, well, what do you need to succeed today? And I think there's really four things that you need to think about right now for, you know, sort of the core platforms, again, Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, Twitter, LinkedIn, YouTube. Again, video for Facebook, Instagram, and Snapchat, obviously YouTube as well, is really, really big. That's an instrumental way that you are going to boost awareness and boost opportunity for engagement, whether it's likes, whether it's, you know, shares, comments. You know, that's what we're talking about in terms of awareness, engagement, which ultimately impacts consideration. So next is budget for ads. You know, and I think that's more specifically related to Facebook because it's really a pay-to-play platform. You know, unless you have, you know, 10, 12, 20,000, you know, followers of your page content, you have to have budget, even if it's, you know, $10 to boost a post. The third thing that you absolutely need to succeed is a data-driven strategy. You have to understand the data behind what's happening. Understand, you know, where the sources are, where the referral sources are, where the most popular page views are. You know, the analytical data from Google Analytics, or you know, from your own data that you've collected from customers or clients. You know, and that's huge for Twitter as you're kind of thinking about awareness and setting up your campaigns. Instagram, sort of the same thing. And then fourthly is audience insight. You have to really understand your audience and how they interact and how they behave and how they think about on that specific platform. So again, if we're circling back around, I think we get really caught up in return on investment, specifically related to attribution, and did that ad result in a specific lead or prospect that I can put my finger on. And while that's a valuable metric, we cannot undervalue or underestimate the power of awareness as we engage and as we interact and as we have likes and shares, because ultimately awareness leads to consideration. And what are the four things that you need for each platform? You have to have video content. You need to have a budget for ads. You need to have data-driven strategies, and you need your audience insight. And those are the four keys. So again, I think at the end of the day, return on investment is a critical part in evaluating if you're having a successful digital and social media marketing campaign and strategy. So just wanted to share those ideas with you today. Thanks for your time again. My name is Michael Wynn, and I'm the Chief Digital Officer of Digital Ops, a division of RB Oppenheim Associates. Thank you so much. Have a great day, and we'll see you tomorrow.